behave if I want to.
Hmm. Hello, everyone. Happy Canada Day to all our fellow Canadians here. Um, it's fitting tonight. We will be sending someone to the frozen north through Banishment. So, players, I'm going to turn it over to you to begin discussing. John was murdered at the last challenge slash murder. Um, I'm sure you have plenty to talk about, so I'll leave you to it.
If you don't mind, I would like to start us off if you can hear me.
Yes, we
So I'll
can.
tell
Um,
you something.
there's been something that has been bothering me for a couple days now, and it has definitely bothered me a lot last round. John and I communicated quite a bit. I know John is very social, and I know there's other people on here that talk to John a lot. I'm going to give a precursor that I'm going to name drop four people, and it doesn't necessarily mean I think you're a traitor. I want you to defend yourself so I can move past it and quit being troubled by it. John told me a couple of days ago that Gabby was acting
Why are we doing?
suspiciously weird towards them. And because of that,
Mama T,
uh,
can you mute,
I,
Go
please?
home. You gotta have the food. So you got.
Yeah, I'm having a hard
Goodbye.
time hearing him.
Yeah, I'm having
Sorry,
a
Brandon,
hard time
Cameron.
can you
hearing you.
mute Mama T? Okay. So a couple of days ago, John told me that Gabby was acting weird against them. I told them immediately, I don't think Gabby's a traitor because Gabby is a horrible liar. That's from my perspective. John also agreed with that as well. Okay, make that clear. Then at the last round table, Kinsey brought up John, but I don't think it really mattered that much. What concerned me is specifically Cody, you kind of doubled down on him. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, maybe there's extra things that I'm not aware of, which is possibly true. With 23 people, 22 people, there's bound to be something I'm not going to know. And this is where we bring it up, like you said. But then what troubled me is yesterday, before we all got on Zoom, John called me out of the blue, which is not rare for them, and told me straight up that they feel weird about this vote because of them exposing that they're the hostage, right? And because they expose they're the hostage, it automatically shows that they are faithful, which means this is probably one of the prime opportunities to get rid of them if they're okay with taking a penalty vote. Okay. With that going forward, then the murder happened, then the twist occurred, and then it's Diane, Tyree, John, and I, which is a little suspicious up until what I thought about today. But then at that point, I asked John yesterday before, who all did you tell that Gabby is being weird with you? Because why would you, out of 23 other people, they use your vote for Gabby unless they know? There's three people that I'm aware of what John told me they said. It was me, it was Diane, and it was Cody. And I would like clarity on that as well. But that's according to John. With that being said, I don't think Cody. I also don't think Diane's a traitor either. My question, if that was a legitimate conversation, and I'm admitting John told me that Gabby's sus and weird, did you tell anybody else about that comment? And maybe we can get behind why Gabby actually got the vote, why they did.
Yeah. Okay. That was a lot to unpack for sure. So I'm gonna start. One, John did not tell me that. So when John and I called, because he also cold calls me, we discussed that I'm gonna pronounce your name wrong. I am so sorry. Zhao. Um, Zhao made a chat with me and John at the very, very beginning of the game out of nowhere. So John and I immediately were like, this is weird. So like our suspects were on John, and then John and I discussed, not thinking that it was Hyrie, that we think Hyrie was being framed in that lineup. That Zhao was kind of pushing Hyrie, but I told John, I've played with Hyrie before. I kind of can get a sense of what Hyrie will do, and we discussed it the last vote. I don't think Hyrie. Um, Never once did John open up to me about Gabby. Don't know where that came from. And then the other thing that you had a question about, oh, me doubling down on John. Um, I feel like I know John probably maybe the most out of everybody here. So I felt the need to bring up something, and I've told a lot of people this. you need to be looking at your friends more than anyone because you know when the behaviors are unusual and you need to be able to publicly say something about it. And that's what I did. And if I had like a concern that someone was moving kind of funny, I brought it up in that moment in time. I also told people about that conversation on a public call before I did it at the roundtable, so it wasn't a super surprise. And I even said at that point, I'm not sure if I should bring it up if it's relevant, and I was told that it needed to be brought up. So that's why I brought it up, because I felt like I didn't think John was a traitor. I just thought John was moving funny. Like, to be a faithful and saying things like that and trying to like fact check people threw me for a loop personally. But that's my piece.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's why I brought it up so I could quit thinking about it. It's just been heavy on my mind for a couple of days. And with last night, I just wanted to do what you said, bring it in the air,
100%.
let people defend themselves, and then move on. I appreciate the comment.
Yeah. As for so I'm going to speak up now. And I have a question
Alex, you do know
for
people had their hands raised before you, right? Just
Oh, I did not know that. Sorry.
That's
I did
okay.
not know that.
No,
I apologize.
I just feel like Gabby had her hand up, so she might want to reply to the whole
Yeah,
situation.
sorry. I did not see that. I did not see that you guys had your hands up. You guys can go. Sorry.
Like, I will defend myself in saying that during that call, I was distracted watching a game on TV, so that could probably be where I was acting weird. It was not because of a traitor. And with John's hostage role, anyone who knows me knows I would not have willingly put my name out there to be randomized and told John to vote me if I was a traitor, because I would have wanted to keep myself out of the line of fire. So those are pretty good reasons to clear me.
Kenzie, I think
Kenzie?
it's your turn.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to like kind of piggyback on something that Cody said about knowing your friends and like knowing kind of like differences. To this person, I'm not trying to call you out. I love you. I think you're an amazing person, but there's some things I just can't get off my mind. Alex, I don't know. You just seem really, really confident this time around. You just seem like you have a lot to say. You just seem like you got that confidence to you, which is not a terribly bad thing. But what kind of the biggest thing that kind of threw me off was that night, the last banishment where you still voted for John, even though, because I personally thought John, I thought they cleared their name pretty well. Because like I said, I wasn't coming at John when I asked him what I asked them, what I asked them. And I honestly thought after that he was not a traitor at all. And then with like, them being one of the four last night, I mean, I don't know, I could just be overthinking it all, but like the biggest thing to me is like your confidence this game and just the vibes I'm getting from you are a little different, but I mean, like I said, I could just be
Okay.
overthinking it all.
So as far as the it's been a while since we've played together, so I have changed a lot over the past year. And I have grown a lot in my person and in who I am. But I also have learned something in games over the past year or whatever that the roundtable's a great chance to air out anything and everything, right? And I think for me, I mean, people can say that they were fully convinced that John wasn't a traitor up until um his vote was we found out his vote was controlled. I was not convinced that he was a traitor, that he was a faithful. And so for me, I I kind of knew that a lot of the votes were going on Meg, but I also didn't want my vote to just be added to the dog pile because honestly, I didn't really think that Meg was a traitor. I understand why people think that. But yeah. Um I see that people have their hands raised. If it's okay with them, I'd like to ask my question before I'm done talking. If
Can I
that's
ask you
okay.
a question real quick, Alex? It's really
Yeah.
quick. Just a fact check. Cody denies that John lied to me. Did you reveal your role to John the other night?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. So if that's the case and what John told me, then you are not the traitor then, from the information I know.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, also, did you mean
Um,
to heart John's murder on Facebook?
I did. I didn't know that I did. Oops. I didn't know that I did that. Well, John, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I did not mean to heart your message. I did not mean to heart it. I meant to put a crying emoji on it. But yeah. So, um my question, does that answer your question though, Cameron? Okay. Um, you know, so I do have a question now. And my question is for Zhao. Um, Zhao, I find it very interesting that I found it very interesting that the before the roundtable you were so gung ho on the idea that Kyrie's a traitor, and then at the round table, up until you voted, you said nothing. It for me it seemed like you were causing all this chaos beforehand and then tried to immediately after lay low. Can you just explain to me why you did that?
Yeah, sure. Can y'all hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hear you. So, first of all, I do not think that I was causing a chaos. I did speak to, let's say, 5 or 6 people that I felt comfortable with about the video that I saw and um my conclusions of it.
Mhm.
At the same time, as I said before, it's my first time meeting all of you when I know that there's a bunch of people that do have previous relationships in this game. And when we got to the round table, even before anybody said anything, Harry started and he spoke to defend himself. And then 6 other people just jumped on it and just said that there was no way that Harry would be able to be a traitor without discussion. So I felt a little taken back because first I don't know these people, and if I push hard in this round table and it's my first one, I don't know anybody. Most of them do seem to be pretty close. Might just shoot myself in the foot, so I just decided to not push it
Okay.
too much because it could backfire on me. That was my
Can I just
initial
say
thought.
something? I just want to say something that too, because I know, like, obviously, I voted for you last round table because I had my suspicions, because I was just being told that you were kind of pushing the Hyrie thing. And, one of the things that we talked about on the call after the round table was like why I voted the way I did. And you kind of said that you felt like Hyrie just was this puppet master to a bunch of people. I just want to say, like, I didn't, not vote Hyrie because I'm just a friend of his or, whatnot. Like, I genuinely don't think he's a traitor. We had thoughtful discussion about why he wasn't a traitor. Like, I don't think he'd murder Bianca. There were clear reasons for that. So I just think you pushing this, like, everyone's just hopping on the Hyrie train is a little suspicious.
I don't think I ever used the term puppet master. I did say that it seemed like he did have a lot of people supporting him. I never said that he was controlling everyone. That's what puppet master
Yeah,
implies.
no, I'm
So
not
that was
I'm not
my
saying that's exactly what you said. I felt like that's what you were
yeah. I was
insinuating.
just clarifying so people can have
Yeah.
a better
That was
understanding
a
of the
good point,
conversation.
Anthony.
It's Anthony.
Diane?
Okay, can everyone discuss about the coins last night? Because my coins are not adding up. Like, there's three people that told me that they sent me coins, and it's not adding up. So somebody's lying. So why would you lie about coins? Like the one that you gave to?
I told Diane everyone that I gave her 4 coins is absolutely what I did. I did 4, 2, and 2 split. I told her right afterwards, and then in the same, we were all in a call last night. This is where Diane's bringing this up, right, Diane? We were all talking about who gave Diane's coins. So Diane had 12 coins that she didn't give away. She kept them for herself. Now, if I gave her 4 coins, and then Alex said in the call that he gave her 4 coins, and then Brent said that he gave her 2 coins, it doesn't add up.
It does
So
not.
someone in that call, and I love everyone on that call, but someone's
There are also
someone's not
people
telling the
that
truth.
were not in the call that had told Diane they gave her coins as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
Diane, can
something's
you
not adding up.
Diane, can you tell us who that wasn't in the call? Can you tell us who told you that they gave you coins?
Or just who gave you coins, period, because I wasn't in the call either, and I'm just...
Adam told me that he gave me coins. Alex told me that he gave me coins. And Brent told me that he gave me coins. And Jo, I thought he had told me that he gave me coin, but I ended up looking at our call. He just told me that he was happy that I was safe.
Oh, okay.
I did not give Diane any points. I gave mine to Cameron.
Yeah.
But there's still a discrepancy. Yeah.
So
There is. And I mean, all I can say is that I swear, I promise, like I gave you 4. I had 8 points to give away. I gave 4 to you, 2 to John, and 2 to Hyrie.
And I promise, and I gave all 4 of my coins to you, and I was under the assumption that in that kind of whole scenario, that because you won so many coins, that people might not prioritize giving you coins. So
that makes sense.
I wanted to do whatever I could to boost you up.
Yeah, and like I said, I was honest about that too. I told everybody up front. I had 6 coins to give. I do not think that Diane is a traitor, and I do not think that Cameron is a traitor. And I was very concerned about that, so I gave all my coins to them. And I gave 4 to Cameron, which is what I said yesterday in the call, and I gave 2 to Diane. And I'm the one who started that. I'm the one who in the call said, "Hey, this is what I did with my coins." So I really have no reason to lie about that. It is odd because 22 versus 20. So, I mean, are we 100% sure production there was no like slip up there? Because it doesn't even make sense to me why anybody would even lie about this either.
Production is sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I have no problem at the end of the game or whenever, like showing everybody a screenshot from my
Same.
100%.
Well, just to clear myself right now, I did not give Diane any coins. Diane already knows this. I gave my 4 coins to John. And the reason for that is because when John revealed their role, that is a faithful role, John, no offense, but John was the only person in this game that was 100% cleared for me. So for me, it was a no-brainer giving my coins to John. That's it.
I also open with anyone who asked, and I gave the coin to John.
So one of the things that with the coins also, that when I'm in conversations with people, it's that Cameron doesn't really know too many people, yet he got 29 coins, which was 9 more than Diane, even though she had 12 more to start with. So like, could anyone who gave Cameron coins, can you just like admit it so we can try and see like if it is like just that he was lucky and people like him and they give him coins, or is there something that we need to?
Only had one coin, and I did give it to Cameron. Yeah, so my one coin that I had, I did give to Cameron.
So I gave all 6 of my coins to Cameron. I'll just be completely honest about it, because I had a call with Cameron after the roundtable,
we both had voted someone that wasn't Meg. Obviously, like, not upset that Meg's gone. She was inactive. She's not good for the faithful anyway. But I liked what he had to say about not hopping on a bandwagon. And it just did something to me about like, it just made me feel like he was a faithful. So I gave my 6 coins to Cameron.
I had 10 and I split it amongst 3 of the 4.
I gave my 2 to Cameron.
I had 0.
Okay. But there was 29, so where's the rest of them?
Who said that they had 10 and split them?
And like I said, I gave 4 to Cameron and I gave 2 to Diane.
I had 10 and I divided them amongst 3 of the 4 people, but not evenly. So I did give a few extras to more than one, but Diane was not one of the ones I gave coins to.
And I gave all 5 of mine to Cameron.
I gave my 3 to Cameron, as I said before.
So what is that? That's 10, 15, 18 were given to Cameron, and he had 2.
Yeah.
Which is
But I had 29 total.
Which is 20 as of right now.
9 up in the air.
And why would nobody just admit, if there's not anything to hide, why would you not just admit giving him the coin? Because if you're not admitting giving him the coins, then clearly there's a reason why.
So yeah. It's very confusing, definitely.
Okay, if you
I
count,
find
but
it
Jay,
interesting though that there's 2 coins unaccounted for that Cameron got.
Well, no,
and
no, no, no,
2
no.
coins too much
on.
that are claiming to be given to Diane.
All right. Let me clarify it. If you just looked in the chat, MJ said how much she gave me. I started with 2, so if you add everybody that just said something up plus my 2, that equals 29 there. I think personally, and you can take this with a grain of salt because I don't have any evidence behind what I'm about to claim, but I think the reason I got so much is Diane's likable. So people are automatically going to give her some stuff, but she whooped my ass in that competition yesterday anyways. So, I mean, she was already high up there like Willie Nelson in his heydays, right? The kicker is I think there was an agenda behind making sure John went. And I think in order to do that, you had to dogpile on someone that was probably not as social as I should be of the 4. And I think that was what really happened.
I think you might be right, and that's what's so confusing to me is like we don't know how many traitors are here, right? But there's a lot more faithfuls. I don't understand why more people wouldn't save the person who was absolutely not a traitor. I just don't understand it. No offense.
I will speak for myself.
Kyrie, but
And the reason I did not give John any coins is honestly, I thought other people would. I'm on the same page that I did not think a lot of people would give Diane coins because she won 12 for herself. And she also, I mean, I don't think anybody thinks Diane's a traitor. Maybe I'm wrong, but I get that impression. I certainly don't think she is. I was more concerned about Cameron, who I do very much believe is a faithful, and I did not want to see, and he's someone I've talked to quite a lot, and I didn't want to see a faithful leave again, especially someone who seems to be very active in this game because we as faithfuls need all the help we can get. So that was my logic. In hindsight, I do regret not giving John any coins, especially knowing that it came down to 3. But that was the way I was thinking. I was assuming a lot of people would be giving him coins, knowing that he was a faithful, and I wanted to prioritize other people who I also believed were faithfuls.
Kenzie, you had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I hear what everybody's saying. Nobody asked me how many coins I gave to whom and why. Nobody asked me why I didn't give coins to who I didn't give coins to. I did talk to a couple people who gave me their reasons, and I've just heard a lot of, well, maybe they did it for this reason, maybe they did it for that. But the conversations I've had and my own reasonings, I've not heard any of you really say. So I don't know what, you know, I don't want to hear people like necessarily make assumptions of the reasons why I'll just ask people, maybe they'll tell you.
Well, I just told everybody. So you got my reasoning at least.
Kinsey, you have had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, so there's just somebody else that I kind of wanted to ask something about. So a couple calls, I think it was just when it was me, Mary, and Brent on the call. Like we were talking about like how like the traders would be picked, how the traders would murder and etc. So I said like since like I played before, and I said, well, I feel like it would most likely be inactives. And then Brent, you kind of questioned me a little bit and kind of said, oh, really, about it being inactive. And then I just found it was kind of weird that the complete opposite happened after you kind of questioned that.
You like really broke up a lot on my end, so I
Yeah, me too.
Mine as well. I had a really hard time here.
Kenzie, what did he say
Hold
again?
on. One sec.
Let me mute.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
I can.
Okay, so sorry. What I said was the other night, like I think it was before the first murder. People that no, Lulu, sorry. I think it was before the first murder when I think it was me, Mary, and you, Brent. We were on call, and we were just kind of talking about like Traitors. You said you've never seen the show, and you kind of asked about like how it would go, like how Traitors would like murder and stuff. And I kind of brought up that I felt like it'd be like kind of more inactive. And you kind of seemed to like think the opposite and you kind of questioned it. And then it kind of was just in my head after that murder was not an inactive. So yeah, it's kind of just been on my brain.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't remember how I questioned it or not. I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to get the feel. I mean, I feel like I was surprised that someone who was not inactive was murdered. Like I genuinely was surprised. I didn't talk to Bianca a lot. We talked a little bit. I think whoever the traders are, they're playing a good game. But yeah, I have most of you I've never played with. I don't know how you play. I don't know your personalities. So, I'm kind of like, kind of a little lost in the scheme of
Guys,
things.
we have 2 minutes, and I feel like we've gotten nowhere. Like I have no fucking clue how to vote.
We have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Like somebody please say something that's gonna help make a decision.
Can I
mean,
ask a
all I
question?
can say is I've been completely honest. I have no reason to lie, and hopefully you guys believe me that I am a faithful. I very much want to get traders out of here with the rest of you faithfuls, and we need smart thinking faithfuls to do that. So
The
Diane,
only
you get
name
the
I've heard
final.
tonight that was a possible traitor. I've heard a lot of people talk about who's definitely not a traitor, but the only name I heard that had some backing on who a traitor is Zhao.
All right, Diane, you can say one last thing.
Okay, my question is to you, MJ. Last round table, you said you don't go for inactive. That you didn't want to vote for an inactive, but then you ended up changing. You ended up voting for Meg. Could I ask what was the reason why you?
Absolutely. It's because just like tonight, I heard a lot of reasons why people aren't traitors, but I was not hearing a single reason why somebody was considered a traitor. And so because of that, I opted to just go ahead with the majority that voted Meg. I appreciate people defending everybody else, which is great, but we want to get to the traitors. So I really would like to hear more of who do you suspect to be a traitor and why, and less of who's a faithful and why.
Well, you're all out.
That was why.
And I can answer that really.
You're all out of time. I said I gave her the last second. So you had a lot of discussion, some math involved. I did not think there was going to be any math, but we're going to see how this vote goes. All right. I wish you all luck. At this time, please vote in your confessional. Be prepared to explain your vote. And we'll be back after we do our tallies.
Kenzie, you still have your hand raised, by the way, just so you know.
And please do not talk while it's voting time. All right. Before we start, we're actually going to start with Barb, because Barb's vote is going to be random tonight. And Barb, you are voting for Demonica. All right, so also Taylor pre-voted. Taylor voted for Tanner. All right, so we will start with Gabby.
Okay, well, there was no lot to go on, but I could not shake the thought of that discussion between Harry and Joao. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I voted for Joao.
All right, Diane.
I didn't know either. There's a lot of people right now that are not expressing their thoughts or nothing. And for me, Mary, you're kind of quiet all the time. Not that I don't know if you're a traitor or faithful, but I'd like to talk to you more after this call. But I voted for Mary.
All right. Tina, I'm going to go to you in case your phone dies.
Okay. All right. Can you see me? Or
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to vote for Demonica because she hasn't talked game with me. And there it is.
All right. Let's
All
go to Cameron.
So something was also brought to me earlier that I did not say, because I want to get evidence, not hypotheticals. So when somebody says somebody else told me something, I want it straight from the source, not from a third party. Up until a comment that was actually said today confirms that this is probably a legitimate thing. I think I know I'm very outspoken. I'm probably not playing this game as well because I am outspoken and I'm actively trying to find the people we're supposed to. But a comment was made today that was interesting regarding coins and how out of the four, I was the only one that did not receive a coin. And I do believe, Adam, you are a faithful. But something that's interesting is you don't trust me. And I have tried to have conversation with you as well. So my vote did go to Adam. But I hope we can kind of move past this because I think there's a lot of distrust that you have with me that I think we need to work on.
All right. Melissa.
If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I didn't hear a lot to go off tonight. And when I asked for a name to be given, MJ did speak up and said, Joao, so sorry I voted you. And yeah, if you stay, hopefully we can talk because I have really enjoyed getting to know you.
All right. Joel.
In order to be consistent to what I have spoken to some people that I feel comfortable sharing, I kept my vote on Harry as I did last time because that's the only person that I have a very strong suspicion that is a traitor given the evidence that I have seen myself. And that's where I went.
All right. MJ?
Brendan, can Amy go next?
Yes,
Please.
Amy can go next.
She
Sorry,
messaged.
sorry, y'all. I just gotta get back inside. Y'all, it's 102 degrees in my voting center, so I'm dying. I went with somebody I haven't talked to yet this game, and I hope I don't screw up your name, Jiao. Mainly because, like I said, we haven't talked. I know I'm not active all the time, as I said the last roundtable. But I do pay attention, so I apologize. And if you stay, I hope we can get to know each other better.
All right. We're going to MJ.
Thank you. Like I stated earlier, just because it's the only name that I feel there was any reasons that were given that kind of landed, and that's Joao.
All right. Just as a quick vote count, we got 4 votes Joel, 2 votes Demonica, 1 vote Tanner, 1 vote Mary, 1 vote Adam, 1 vote Hyrie. We'll go to Alex next.
Hi guys. So for reasons that I mentioned earlier, and I also feel like the drama between this player and another player is in the game. If we keep them both in the game, that the traders are going to, if neither of them are traders, that the traders are going to utilize that to try and steer direction away. So I really do think you are a trader, based off of, well, I don't, not for certain, but I feel like for me right now this makes the most sense for me, so I voted Joao.
All right. Next is going to be Tanner.
Based on what I heard tonight and before Roundtable, I did vote for you, Joelle. You could be a traitor, but I apologize if I'm wrong.
All right. Demonica.
I'm kind of shocked at what I'm watching. You know, I watched a lot of things yesterday. Mama T, you saying that I haven't talked game with you. I had to start a chat with you to even talk to you. So that's a weird excuse, but we'll talk about that next time. I voted for someone who I think is sticking out like a sore thumb. And I think if this person doesn't go soon, a lot of you guys are going to find out at the end that this person is a traitor. And I'm sorry, but I just kind of feel like because you point fingers a lot, that you could possibly be a traitor. I mean, like you pointed fingers at Amy last night when she was drunk. So Kenzie, I'm going to say you.
All right. Hyrie.
Thank you.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to put it out there that my vote is not in retaliation to this person. I think neither of us came to each other to actually have a conversation about it. So I think it's I just went with what I think is gonna happen in terms of my majority vote, and I wrote Joao.
Those are the traitors. I'm sorry, am I on mute?
Please mute, Demonica. Thank you. All right, Brent.
I was really in between 2 people. Unfortunately, there's really just not a ton of evidence at this point. And I don't, I really don't want to see yet another faithful leave. But I did vote Harry. Unfortunately, I just think the video and everything, it's just not a good look. And I think the most evidence at this point is just kind of pointing to you.
All right, Mary.
And this person, hopefully, if you stay, we can do some more talking. But Harry, I voted for you because I feel like I was kind of confused about your defense of the video. And I just kind of want to get some more clarification, hopefully, if you stay.
Adam?
Surprise, surprise, I voted for Cameron. It has nothing to do with him, anything besides the coin count. Something about the coin count just doesn't add up to me, and I think it's weird that he would now just vote for me because I'm mentioning his name. That's just weird. Even though he thinks I'm a faithful, that's an odd thing to do.
All right, Sean?
So once again, we can only go off of what we have, and I really hope I'm right, but I'm voting Joao again. I don't think our call really gave me that sense that you're not a traitor, so I just have to go with my gut.
All right, Cody.
I've been very vocal to a lot of people about how I felt about this vote and where my mindset kind of going in was. I even told you, Zhao, that I was planning on voting for you tonight for said reason, so that if I was mistaken in my vote, you would at least come to the round table to be able to speak up and defend yourself as to why. I just think the lineup with Hyrie and John being nominated after my conversations with John, and then John soon being murdered after, like, either you're being perfectly framed by a traitor or you are a traitor, in my opinion. And they are equally as bad.
All right. And Kenzie.
Is the whole point of a roundtable not to call things? Why are you just voting for me and not saying anything in the roundtable? I find that really freaking funny,
Because you
Demonica.
guys would not shut up and let anybody else talk.
Well, it's just funny because the last two
I mean, you guys,
roundtables you haven't said a word.
Kenzie,
And
please
it
just
doesn't,
reveal your vote.
it doesn't matter. I'm just
you
defending
dominate
myself
the
because
conversation.
okay,
Nobody can talk.
can you
By
mute
the
yourself
time
now?
it's
Can you
time,
mute
Monica,
that's
please
it.
mute.
can you mute yourself,
Failure.
please?
I'm
Now
muting
is
you.
not the time,
Bye.
lady.
Bye.
All right, please reveal your vote.
Yeah, so anyway, my vote now I've lost train of thought. To this person, like we said, like a lot of other people said, there's not really much to go off of, and I just don't think it's fair to vote the two people I questioned because I felt like I got a pretty decent answer back from both of them. But just kind of, I've never talked to you personally myself, and just things are not really adding up to me. So unfortunately, my vote is for you, Joelle.
All right, that means our final vote count is 10 votes Joel, 3 votes Hyrie, 2 votes DeMonica, and 1 vote for Tanner, Mary, Adam, Kenzie, and Cameron. Did I miss anyone who didn't vote? All right, I have it all accurate on my spreadsheet. So, Joel, you have been banished from King's Landing. If you can unmute and tell players whether you are a faithful or a traitor, do not reveal any other specific role.
I feel like coming to this game, I thought I didn't know what to expect, and unfortunately, got the bad part of what I was wishing wasn't gonna happen, which was people turning into a survivor game and relying on people they know and they think they have perfect relationships with, and I feel like I'm a victim of that. Given that, I'm very proud to say that I am a faithful and that I was right. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, Joel, for playing. If you want to
I
stick
can't
around, we can do a
believe
brief
this.
exit interview.
Sorry, Joe.
I'll put you away. Oh, here you go. All right. Faithful, I'm just gonna give you a piece of advice. Lots of different conversations, lots of distractions. Get rid of the distractions, focus on the task on hand, and maybe you'll finally get out a traitor. But someone's getting murdered tomorrow, so not a great start. But we will see you all tomorrow to see who that murder victim is. Good night.